I was the one that reported 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. I have received so many death threats, at least 2,000 in my texts, my website, my Facebook, my email. Just know I'm very aware of my surroundings. I will sense you hundreds of yards away. I will know when my environment is unstable. And if you at any point make me feel like I'm in fear of my life, if you make it out alive, you'll spend a lot of time in jail, which you probably won't. So don't come near me. You better calm down the threats, and all your information is being reported. You don't know anything, obviously, since you can't. I don't give a shit how Hyundai, whatever. I don't care how it's pronounced. That's not my priority. I don't drive a Hyundai, and I don't intend to. But I know one thing, our country needs to be respected. And I say that as genuinely as possible. When I have sat and talked to people that are being pushed out of jobs by foreign labor, that are having their farms, that they're having to sell their farms. And that's people right here in our backyard. And that's what I care about. I don't care about anything else. We are powerful. We are the best country in the world, and we better start acting like it, and people need to respect that. That's all I'm going to say about this. I'm not on here to argue with bots, people paid by George Soros and all the likes of that. Your ignorance is gleaming. You will literally create emails to jump in my email to ask me why I turned off comments. Well, when you've doxed my family, put my 19-year-old's business card online, put my old address online that I don't even live at, photoshopped my photos, Googled stuff and pulled it up off the internet, I don't have to cater to you. I'll shut off everything I want to shut off. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
A woman who just went online bragging about being the reason 475 people were just arrested. It didn't go the way that you thought, did it? Because the way that you were so happy to share with the world voluntarily that you were the one that contacted ICE, that got that Hyundai plant that was in the middle of being constructed, completely shut down. And over 400 people arrested, most of them being Koreans, which you seemed kind of confused about until you realized that Hyundai is owned by Koreans. And that the reason they had so many people from other countries here was because they knew they were going to have to train Americans to do this job, because all of their instructions from Korea were in Korean. So they got approval to send people here to the United States to construct their massive facility in the way that you were like.
If you needed a clear picture of just how broken Republican leadership has become, look no further than Georgia, where a MAGA congressional candidate bragged that she called in a tip to ICE and helped trigger the raid on Hyundai's battery plant. Just imagine how chaotic that looks for the Republican Party right now. Donald Trump has made it clear he sees these massive foreign investments as trophies. Each one of them another kiss on the ring from another government pouring money into the United States. It's why he loves to stand on stage and take credit for them constantly. And yet, one of his own up-and-coming foot soldiers just blew up one of his biggest deals. Tory Brown didn't wait for orders. She didn't follow the chain of command. She took initiative by herself and for herself to make a phone call and prove she was tough enough for the MAGA base. But what she really proved is that this party has no discipline, no coordination, no real leadership. You've got Trump at the top trying to play statesman, begging foreign governments to come invest here, and down at the bottom, you've got some dumbass MAGA Karen throwing a wrench into the gears just to earn some brownie points with the loudest voices on the far right. And now, South Korea is rightfully furious. The project is in jeopardy, and the Republican Party just managed to sabotage one of Trump's own crown jewel investments. All because their own people can't tell the difference between serving the movement and serving their own egos. That's not strength. It doesn't show leadership. That's just pure chaos. And it's the kind of chaos that leaves America's economy in the trash.
Tony Branham, a congressional candidate in Georgia, has faced a significant backlash for claiming that she tipped off ICE about the Hyundai plant raid. While she had defended her actions as a way to protect, an American jobs under forced immigration laws, her critics argue that her action have had a major negative consequences. Man, this story have shaken up internet. This story have made many people angry. Now, this is how it is. Tony Branham is from Georgia. Now, she went ahead and maybe see around Koreans workers walking around in Georgia. Then she wonder, what are these people doing? Remember their mindset, eh? I want you to remember the mindset of these people, okay? So after wondering what these people are doing, she did what? She tipped off ICE, men, to go to raid at that same Hyundai industry. This Hyundai was helping United States. Man, it was a lot of investment that is here in Georgia. And remember, these people is not about like not giving American jobs. They were building industry so that they're gonna train the Americans in Georgia. Now, Georgia State is losing billions of dollars because of this woman. And you know what's funny? This woman, man, is a candidate to be a Congress in Georgia. Man, this story is so amazing, and it has made many people to get angry. All right, folks, if you are not yet subscribed, please do so.
Stop being mean to Tori. She didn't know. She didn't know that the South Koreans were supposed to be here and that they were here legally. She didn't know.
This is sarcasm for those
just
still
a
not
little
catching
baby. How was she supposed to know they were supposed to be here to help build that facility if nobody told her? Yes, she could have just minded her own business, but she's a white woman. White women can't mind their own business. It's in their DNA. Yeah, I know she was doubling and tripling down and saying that she was standing on business and now has deleted her entire TikTok account. But how is she supposed to know that was going to create 8,500 jobs and bring in billions of dollars for Georgia because nobody told her? Nobody probably told her about the plant in Louisiana that she's probably cost people as well. What was she supposed to do? She probably saw these people around town and at the grocery store, and she just knew that they weren't white. They had to be illegal, right? The entire fucking lesson for 2025 needs to be mind your own business, bitch. This one woman caused an international event, and if I was Hyundai and LG, I would sue her for the lost revenue, which they're talking about doing, by the way. I hope she gets in touch with Candace Owens' lawyer, you know, for an international lawsuit. I think Georgians should come together and file a class action lawsuit for all the potential jobs she just cost you guys.
Did you guys see the video of that woman from Georgia who says she's the one that reported the Hyundai workers to ICE? And she fancies herself a hero, saving them all from the human trafficking they were experiencing, these horrible working conditions, these low wages, this lack of housing. She thinks she's the hero in this story, saving them from this. And of course she blames Biden. I do not understand the minds of conservatives. They see victims of human trafficking in this story, and their solution to the problem is to first blame Biden, and second, arrest the victims. I just don't understand them. So let me show you. So this is the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. It's a federal law. It prosecutes employers, not the victims, and it prohibits them from having forced labor, basically. There's criminal charges, fines, prison sentences, and then victims can sue for civil damages. Who do you want to bet voted against this? Who do you want to bet? Who do you want to bet that prevents victims from suing their employers? Who prevents victims from getting compensated fairly? Who prevents victims from having fair housing? Who do you want to bet are the politicians that prevent these victims from getting what's due to them? Because what they want to do instead is arrest the victims. These people are the cruelest people. They have no empathy. And also no ability to think logically about situations. I just don't want to be here with these people anymore. They really have no understanding of reality. They live in a completely distorted reality. And anyway, that's it.
Tori Branham is a prime example as to why racism is not only so incredibly short-sighted, but it is also very, very expensive. A couple of points I want to point out is there are over 300 of those people that were arrested and facing deportations, which, by the way, South Korea is sending a plane to take those people back because they're not going to let their people be treated that way. Those people, they were here legally. Let's just get that out of the way. Do you really think that Hyundai and LG and the South Korean government are not going to make sure that their I's are dotted and their T's are crossed, that everything was on board, was above board? You really think they're going to do that? Especially when they've invested $6 billion already. They're investing $6 billion. But like I said, this is so short-sighted. So short-sighted. Because not only are those 450 people that were arrested and detained, obviously they're not going to work, but there's another 900 people that were already working at the plant that are now not going to be able to work because the plant shut down. But they were also here. But those South Korean nationals, they were here to train Americans how to do the job. They were here to help get this facility up and running so that way Americans could have those jobs. There was going to be about 8,000 plus jobs for Americans that came from this one plant. For Americans. And then you have the other effects of that too. So not only was this plant going to generate billions in economic growth, but then you also had all the construction workers are now not going to get jobs. American construction workers were now not going to get jobs to build the infrastructure that was going to support that plant, all the roads, all the power lines, all of the things that plant needs. Americans are not going to have those jobs. And then on top of that, you're going to have all the businesses are now not going to pop up because of this. No more new businesses. And the businesses that are already there are not going to see any new income, new revenue coming in. This rural town in Georgia needed that. They needed this. So South Korea is pulling their people back. And it is going to cost Georgia and the United States billions of dollars. This is going to have such huge ramifications. It's already having ramifications. The South Korean president already came out and made a statement about it, and he's not happy. Trump himself worked with South Korea to say, hey, bring manufacturing back to America, especially to avoid the tariffs. He pressured them to do that, and then they did. They invested billions to bring manufacturing to America, to bring Americans back to work, to improve the economy. They were doing these things. And then Tory Branham decides to do this. Called it in. And to all the people that are saying like, oh, they had a months-long investigation and the judge signed off on a judicial warrant. Like, that's not how it went down. They got a tip. They had been working on it for months, but it was all based off of allegations. And they were able to obtain a warrant, and they went in and they got it. They raided a workplace, pulled people away from work who were here legally, that were doing things honestly. They were doing things the right way. Yeah, like I said, racism is so expensive.
Folks, allow me to take you a little time and I reveal to you what this woman has caused the United States and have cost the Georgia state, because these things is beyond, explanation. Okay, remember, a candidate to, Congress of Georgia. Now, the first thing, it is the economic damage and jeopardizing investment. Listen, Georgia have got, billions investment. The Hyundai LG battery plant is a part of a massive multi-billion-dollar investment, 12.6 billion according to some source, in Georgia, which was expected to create thousands of jobs. Some report says up to 8,500. Man, this woman have cost United States $12.6 billion, even more. And the states of Georgia have lost 8,500 jobs. This Hyundai LG, it's a battery plant. It was there for helping Georgia, and this is a big investment. Of course, 12.6 billion is a big investment, as many people claim. So its plant is in Georgia. That's where Hyundai LG has put that. It's a battery plant. It was going to create jobs. It was going to give many Georgians and other American jobs. And you know where the trick is? This plant, they were just in implementation. They were just, starting. They were just want to, to just first set up the industry. And then the next thing they're going to do, it is going to train Americans. They're going to train Americans after, they set up the industry. So what this woman have never understood, it is, that, think that they're going to train Americans. So on to ICE and telling them, you know what, I've seen Koreans there. I think they're illegal. I think they're doing human trafficking. So you should go and check out. So what ICE have done, they run, because that's their job. They run to the industry and then find Korean there. Remember, these Koreans have visa. They have working visa. You know what this have caused? It have caused like, trade war between Korea and United States. So this woman have caused trade wars between two countries in just as ignorance. This I can call it ignorance, because she have never done her research. She have never even, asked questions, ask what are you guys doing here? And she doesn't even have any reason to ask about it. Yes, she went ahead and called ICE. So the raid has reportedly caused delays in the construction of the plants, with a potential loss of years on the project. This in turn threatens the future of jobs in that state and economic benefits that were promised to local community. Man, imagine someone who is going to go in Congress. These are your people that are going to go in Congress, and then that are causing this. So that's why she faced, backlash. People are mad because you've costed Georgia State many dollars. Billions of dollars. So the instead has created uncertainty for other foreign companies, because they are wondering, if we go to United States and then they do us like that, if Korea and the United States, they have bonds. It's like, they are good friends. So if Korea is facing such things, Koreans who are building that industry are facing that. Remember, they have visa and everything. They are legit there. They are allowed to be in the United States. But this woman, what was claiming, it's human trafficking. She was saying, oh, they are doing human trafficking. You have to check Korea. Korea is doing human trafficking. And then she have the proud to come to the social media and then say, I'm the one who did it. I'm the one who caused all this, man. You costed billions of dollars to your states, and you want to be a Congress for your state, man. So, about investing in the United States, South Korean President Lee Jae-myung stated that the raid could make Korean companies very hesitant about future investment. Remember, the MAGA plan is to bring industry in the United States, and right now, that industry that also came is going. So, what does MAGA want? What does really MAGA folks want? That's the question. Because this has led to an accusation that Branham's action, instead of helping the American economy, have actively harmed it and undermined the goal of bringing the manufacturing jobs back to the United States. It has caused a diplomatic and political fallout. Now, the raid caused international dispute between the US and Korea. Or it's South Korea, okay? A key ally, the South Korean government expressed their concern and regret over the incident, which occurred shortly after a news agreement to strengthen economic this between the two countries. Then this woman went ahead and bring IC. So critics have accused her from harming crucial, diplomatic relationship between the countries for political gain. Some have labeled her action as economic suicide and questioned how a politician could jeopardize a multi-billion contract with an ally. You can also question that. So Branham claimed to be acting on behalf of local workers. Some reports indicate that many of the workers detained were on valid visa. I've told you that, because a spokesperson of IC expressed skepticism about Branham's claim that her call prompted the raid, stating that her name was not on the executive summary of investigation. So this had led to accusation that she is using a genuine issue, illegal migration, as a political stunt, potentially misrepresenting the facts that personal gain in her congressional campaign. It has raised to a public anger and online harassment, because Branham have reported receiving, an onslaught and hateful messages and threats online, which had led to public documented. Her actions have been widely condemned on social media, where she has been called a racist and MAGA Karen. Critics have pointed out, the hypocrisy of her actions, arguing that she claimed to be, protecting American jobs while simultaneously losing thousands of jobs in her own district. So the backlash against Tony Branham's steps form of a perception that her action, while framed, as a patriotic effort to protect American jobs, have instead created a significant economic and diplomatic damage, because they have seen a self-serving political maneuver. Now, this lady Branham, I don't know the reason why she did that. Really, I don't know why she did that. Maybe she did it out of knowing. But what the result is, she costed her state and the country to lose billions, and billions of dollars. And billions of dollars. Sometimes, folks, that's why you have to be careful. Whatever we do, whatever we plan, whatever we face, or whatever we try even to create, we should be careful and do our research. Because I wonder, a woman like this who is going to be a Congress of this state causing such damage, do you think people are going to believe them? Which comes to the MAGA. Whatever you do, everything you do, MAGAs, please do research. Research. First ask. You should have asked those workers, what are you doing? Wow, do you have... She doesn't even have a reason to ask them. Because that's billions of dollars. America as a country, they cannot allow human trafficking to be held in that country. You have to understand it. So I don't understand why this woman should do such things. Because, man, America, it's a law country. It obeys law and regulation. So you cannot do such bullshit in that country. So this woman to claim that, oh, I wanted, I thought this, I thought, no way, that's nonsense. You shouldn't have done that. You caused many problems. Now people have lost jobs. 8,000 and many people were expecting jobs in that same industry. But you, woman, you have caused to lose of jobs. Now, what are you creating? Is this America first? Or you're just destroying the country completely? Folks, tell me what you think about this. Let's keep a conversation in the comments below. I am a presenter, Fikazo.